No intro today, but I'm gonna have y'all wait a second while I send the link out to this video if I can. Peace to the family. We do it this way. Thanks for y'all patience as I set this up. What the dilly, oh. Pose. Link. Peace. All right. Peace. Hopefully y'all can hear me all right, and let's talk about something. Ooh, forgot. Tell my wife I'm live. She told me to let her know I was live, so let my wife know I'm live, let the mystery school know I'm live, let the Patreon family know I'm live, let, the universe know, hey, we live, late nights. Talking that spiritual miracle. Let's just get into it, man. We've all heard the term righteous. Well, I've heard the term righteous for a long time, and I never really understood what it meant, right? Like, what does it mean to be righteous? Like, you ever heard somebody like, what type of man do you want? I want a man that's righteous, right? If you never heard that, but you may want to start saying that when you qualify a partner, wanting a righteous partner, being a righteous person, because it's easy to say what something is or what something ain't if we don't understand the definition of a particular word or even the etymology of a word, just to pick apart a word. So what we're going to do is pick apart something that, I guess it's a long story short. I'm on Facebook. My name on Facebook is Melchizedek. And I chose that name for no apparent reason. Like, I can't explain why. I don't know. I know that I used to read the Bible a lot as a youth, and I had this thing where I would read the Bible, and then something would just catch me. And it would catch me, it would hook me, and it would make me, like, not make me go to sleep, but is what I used to call, or what I call now, meditating on the word to understand the hidden messages. I'm a true believer that the intelligent creator delights in concealment. I don't actually believe that what you see on the surface is how you should overall evaluate the content of anything. I think the ins and outs of a person, of a situation, of a business, of a job opportunity, how far can I grow in this situation? What is the purpose of this situation? I find that these are very powerful questions to ask, but if you're anything like me, you notice that you cannot get any answers in reference to those particular questions. So today we're going to talk about sex, we're going to talk about spirituality, and we're going to talk about it in the space of it being the foundation for spiritual development. So when we talk about a foundation, we're talking about the connection between the physical and the earth, right? And a foundation is essential for something to be maintained, sustained, grown, and developed. Because without a foundation, when heavy weather starts to come, whatever is not secured to the foundation or secured to the earth is gone. So I don't want to be so abstract tonight. I want to be so clear tonight that we begin to look at our relationships that don't have foundation. Look at our jobs that don't have foundation. What do I mean by not having a foundation? Because if I was going to build a building tonight, even though I'm going to dig deep into the earth, I got to know what type of building I'm going to build. So when you got a partner tonight, you looking at your partner, what are y'all building together? What legacy are y'all building together? Like, what is the purpose? Like, he's digging in the guts, right? He's digging a foundation, albeit, but we've all been through the apartment building or the 7-Eleven or, the building that just never got finished because the contractor didn't get his money. The crew was crooked. Whatever the case may be, the weather got bad. Whatever the case may be, tornadoes. That project didn't see fruition. Nobody goes to the project that didn't see completion and celebrate the fact that it did not be completed. So I'm not trying to be abstract tonight. I want to be clear tonight. I want us to have a clear frame of mind when we're looking at our relationships and our careers and the things that we got going on in our lives that not completed. But yeah, we talk about it and shit like, what your ex done. Are you going back with your ex? Absolutely not. So let's not talk about that. The job that you worked so long that they just fired you for no reason. You can't seem to not talk about anything but that. That's not completion. So the beautiful thing about life is that we have a new day and we have a new opportunity to take advantage of life and not suffer the consequences of lack of preparation. Lack of preparation and understanding the foundations and the fundamentals of spirituality. So let's get into the conversation. This message, although it's like weird and the information is like, well, he ain't talking about Tasha K and Cardi B, or he ain't talking about the Super Bowl and decoding the Super Bowl. He ain't talking about what everybody else is talking about. I really do apologize for that, because I'm not associated with the masses. This message, from all sincerity, from my heart, like everything that I know and understand life to be, this message is channeled from Archangel Gabriel, giving more of a life story of me. And throughout this presentation, I'll kind of key y'all into codes that Archangel Gabriel said, see, look at that. Isn't that weird? See, look at that. Isn't that weird? And I'll translate this to y'all in reference to conceal or veil information, because the generation that we came from, we were not taught these values. We know how to get money. We know how to get property. We know how to travel. We know how to do rituals. We know how to do retreats. We know how to do more retreats. We know how to get money. We know how to do all of the physical things, but we do not know how to communicate love from my heart to yours. I'm gonna need some participation tonight. Put some ones in the chat if people got hidden motives when you're talking to them, ulterior motives. And since you're a spiritual being having a human experience, you peep the hidden motives, ulterior motives. Put some ones in the chat if you've been feeling ulterior motives and you feel like people's intentions are not pure. Put 2 if you've been coming in contact with just pure intention beings that don't have no hidden ulterior motives. We want to know about you, you know? Maybe I'm the only one who's experiencing and we get a flood of 2s, you know? Or the people that's coming into your life got hidden motives and ulterior motives. I need to know, because I don't want to feel like an alien tonight, ladies and gentlemen. We need participation, even if we get 1 or 2 1s or 2s, right? So, your perception of a person with hidden motives is a deeper need within your heart for righteousness. And I'm just going to apologize for the transformation for which my spiritual development is taking a part of me, but I'm just sharing with you the beauty of concealed hidden energies for which we can start to partake now. Because if you perceive hidden ulterior motives and all of that shit, don't kid yourself. Don't kid yourself. Let's keep it a real, let's keep it a buck. Once you wait for the devil to show his horns, it's too late. Man, if you go to the store and you get some Lay's potato chips and the Lay's potato chips cost $1.59, you give them $1.59. Why, when I get home, not I, the perceptual I, when the perceptual I gets home, you try to do the same deal. I pay this, you do this, da-da-da, right? You can't even make love to your partner. You can't even have communications to your partner. You can't focus on the goal with your partner because within your partnerships, there is no righteousness. I want to bring a big light to righteousness, so when you get into relationships and you get into situations, you're not confused on if the situation goes bad, because to be righteous is a clear quality that is like, you know, if you don't have a word for it, it's just something that's just in your face. You know, you don't have a conceptual context for I seek righteousness in my relationships, not just boyfriend, girlfriends too. Cause sometimes, put some ones in the chat if you the one that's always paying for shit with your friends. How did that work? Or put some ones in the chat if your friends is always paying for you. How did that work? It should be mutual understandings. These are just laws. You might run into a generous woman. You might run into a generous man. Don't take advantage of that generous person, because the laws of the universe will play true. And then that blessing that came into your life will leave your life because you didn't play it square. Anubis is always watching. That's a fact. If 2021 didn't teach you that Anubis was a fair deal, or else you know, it's either fear, which we'll talk about, or it's love, which we'll talk about. Fear is one of those things that, you know, you get a library. You can build a house. You literally build a house because you fear the world that you are attached to. You fear the world that you are attached to, so you buy a house. You need a house. If a motherfucker kick you out of your house right now today, you is not going to be celebrating and saying, I'm one with the fucking universe, I'm one with the earth. You're going to be running and hiding and seeking shelter. Maslow's got you fucked up in the brain. Oh, I need a house. I need a house. How about we learn survival skills first thing we enter the spiritual journey, instead of fucking tarot cards and things of that nature, which is nothing wrong with tarot cards, but at the same time, I was out in nature with it. I digress. So let's get into this conversation, because I don't want to keep y'all up all night. You understand? I got a second win. I ain't drinking nothing but this Traverse cherry tea from Desert Oasis Coffee Roasters up in Royal Oak. Cool ass establishment. They got good ass teas. Like, they got the loose leaf teas. They like make your tea and shit like that. A1. Or you can get you a bomb ass latte, and they got all the different flavors of latte. I always get like the rose lavender with oat milk when I'm feeling like I need caffeine in my life. Tonight, I just need some cherries, right? Need cherry energy. We call on the energy of Archangel Gabriel, the energy of Pampajira to guide us through the concealment of mystery, so we can first understand, understand, overstand, outerstand, goddammit, righteousness. Because once we do this, we must seek this. Because if you don't understand it, and you don't want to understand it, get the fuck off the video. Because then you could just continue to seek big dicks, gray sweats, wet pussy, whatever you seeking out here in these streets. One's in the chat if you heard somebody seeking righteousness in a partner. Twos if you ain't never heard that shit in your life. I ain't gonna tell y'all what I expect to see. I expect to see some outliers and things like that. But I can only say, me personally, I've never heard a woman on a date say, I seek a righteous man. Never. Ever, 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 ever. Kevin Samuels, never. The preacher man, never. He just assumed righteousness, right? So let's get into it. This Melchizedek was king of Salem. So y'all have seen people say that they seek righteousness in a partner? I need to go to y'all cities. Where y'all from? St. Louis? Kansas City? Let's get into Hebrews chapter 7. Let's give you some backdrop. I started the story and I probably drifted off. But my Facebook name is El Melchizedek, and I don't know why. Until over these past couple of days, I've been getting drugged of understanding the story of Melchizedek. Because I see it in the Bible, I kind of get it, and I don't get it at all at a certain point. Like, who is he for real? Even though I have the name and shit, I'm like, I don't know, I just like the way that the shit is spelled. I'm seeking a righteous man. I've never, ever, y'all is from goddamn, I don't know where y'all from. Anywho, I could definitely be wrong, shit. That's why I'm asking the questions tonight. Because I want to know. I want to know what happened to love. What happened to affection? Love and affection does not equal sex. You can make it be about sex. Y'all don't understand what I'm talking about tonight. Attention, love, affection, conversation, smiles, positive energy. Don't mean she got to pull her panties down. Don't mean he got to pull his sweats down because he don't wear drawers under his sweats because he nasty. And you like niggas like that. Watch too much porno. Think it's cool to walk around without no drawers and shit like that. Anywho. Learn to value a man in all that he is. Not all that he says he is. Not all that he gets you, that you see, that he allows you to see with his sneaky, mysterious ass. Hey, babe, I'll be right back. I'm going to the store. Looking ass. I'm cute. I'm sexy. I'm 5'2". I'm a size 4. I want to be in a deep relationship. Well, can we talk about the molestation that happened when you was 4? With a man that you trusted, that you never actually got healed? Because nobody imagined that you had went through such a traumatic event because you always look good. So every time you went places, people said, "You so beautiful." Every time you went somewhere, you say, "You so beautiful." And then you so beautiful, but they don't notice your social awkwardness. They don't notice that you just say yeah when you don't really want to say yeah. You want to say no, but you haven't healed from trauma. So you saying yeah when you want to say no, and now you're in negative situations. Instead of looking at the negative, the person perpetrating, the villain in this scenario of not healing trauma. I'm not talking about nobody specific. Hood, why you talking about me? Hood, you always be talking about me. No, Hood ain't talking about you. Talking about us. Because the thing about me is that I give that loving type energy. I can't help it. Pisses my wife off. It pisses me off. But I don't go far with it. Like, I don't never get intimate with people other than the love that comes from my heart. And so when people talk to me, it's not always about the astrology. It's not always about the tarot. A lot of times, if you want to keep it a buck, 50, 1,000, a million, 100%, it's the love that comes from my heart that I know that I'm giving. That's another reason why people can't stand me either, because they can't muster the love. They got to hit you with sign up for my class and sign up for my book every fucking week. Am I lying? If these niggas don't got nothing to promote to you, they don't have nothing to say to you. You ever notice that? They don't have no love for you, honestly, other than you fattening in their wallets. I'm going to go through a string of information for which I want you to connect it to your relationships, your decision making. Because I truly know without a shadow of a doubt that this is the actual foundation to spiritual connection. But if you look at it as if that you have to pull your panties down and you have to pull your pants down, then you are like a foul, right? It's like that person is driving down the lane and he's about to dunk it, and I don't want him to dunk it. The coach said play defense, so I'm going to just tackle his ass. Well, that's not the rules. Well, I don't like rules. Well, if you break the rules, you won't play the game. You fouled out. You stop in the play of the game. So the reason for rules is so you can have a natural flow. When you look at the communities and the societies, it's very important that you be a father to your kids, because the kids that don't have fathers, they turn out to be robbers and killers and drug dealers and fuck up the community. Gangster life. And as black people, as much as we are normal and average in a lot of aspects, we need to not ignore the fact that our sexual understanding and how we deal with each other needs to be elevated to righteousness for the sake of our children. Because y'all will sit here and have meetings with the mayor of New York and talk about drill rap, but won't talk about how we need to stand in front of our women and not pull our dicks out. So the children don't even be born to listen to the music. Because it ain't like you know what to do as far as raising them, men. All you can do is listen to Kevin Samuels and say how cute he is and how plush his background is and things of that nature. I love your background and how you say the same thing every day. Looking ass. So what I'm trying to do, and I'm not even talking to people today, because I know how people are. They don't really, something gotta happen for a person to actually start listening to what motherfuckers is actually saying. Like somebody gotta tell you to do shit, right? I get that. So for those who have ears, those who really want to establish how to manifest things out of like reading The Secret and signing up for classes and getting readings, and actually want to start to build a foundation with the people that's actually already in your life. And what I'm going to do is show you how words are put together, unfurled, refurled, and it's not what it's actually talking about. Because if it was actually what it was talking about, then it would just be what it's talking about. And what it's talking about shouldn't be nothing spiritual with what it's just talking about, because everybody done had children before, right? The whole nature of human beings is the fact of you coming in life from sex and children. So that is actually not what we're talking about, even though it walks that line. I'll explain. What we're also talking about is not talking about people, but metaphysics and occult technology that we created for these days. When we understood our technology and we understood that we had to break down our technology because we were going to be asleep. And we needed a way to always have a reference for our spiritual technology. And I'm going to tell you, and you can do your own research, or you can listen to my words. There are two priestly centers in organized religion. There are the Levite priests, the Leviticus, the Levites, the tribe of Levi. In this tribe, you have to be born into it. This tribe is the head of all Jewish thought, mysticism, you name it. The Levites, end of it. If you're not a Levite, you're just not a part of the clique. If your daddy not a Levite, you're not a Levite. You're not a spiritual leader. The end of the story. There are also the order of Melchizedek in the Bible. In this order, you didn't have to be born. In those with ears, I need you to listen to this. In this order, you didn't have to be born into it. In this order, you can recreate it yourself through understanding of a spiritual foundation. So once you remove the people from the situation and you start to understand the words, and then you build the situation back up again, and you start to look at yourself and how you conduct yourself. Because one thing I'm going to tell you, because I might not get to it, and I need to get to it. I need to stay on this actual point. Because the people who are not having sex, you don't count. Not having sex, abstaining from sex is not the road to understanding sex. So if you do everything spiritual that a person says, learn this, learn that, do pull-ups, push-ups, and dips, play spades with tarot cards, understand the ins and outs of your astrology chart, know where your Vesta placement is, what house your transits is happening, but you ain't having no sexual understanding with your partner, it doesn't count. That's one person that don't count. Oh, number 2, sneaky link, princess, king, Tinder princess, Tinder swindlers, Dora, don't swipe me, swiper, no swiping, cheaters, episode, filming, looking, motherfuckers. You don't count either. It's a sweet spot to be so verbally connected with your sexual energy that you don't express your sexual energy sexually. But you're not away from something that you could indulge sexually in. It's like, to be in a space of temptation, you gotta be tempted. You gotta understand the transmutation of temptation. This is true sex magic. Having sex because you horny and it's a new moon and you really need to pay your rent is not sex magic. That's just you having sex on a new moon and you really hoping that your rent get paid. Sometimes it work, sometimes it don't. But if having sex on a new moon is sex magic, or sitting and talking about with your sexual energy with somebody that you are sexually attracted to and talking about your hopes and dreams and wishes in the intimacy of conversation, in the intimacy of fear, does that sound like sex magic to you? To break down your walls, to say how much you love and how much you need love and how emotional you actually can get. How affectionate you actually really want to be. To remove your fears, to get intimate with a person, but not have sex. Now we talking about righteousness. Because the levels for which I'm talking about, y'all can't stand them type of levels. Y'all can't stand my ass. Hood, I don't want to go there. I don't want to go there. Because I'm going to get hot and bothered and I'm going to want to have sex. Why? Let's talk. This Melchizedek, this is what we're going to be breaking down. So I'm going to just read through it. And then we're just going to break down this 7:1 through 3. And we're going to talk about the foundation of manifestation, a channeled message from Archangel Gabriel. You've never heard this information from nobody, nowhere, ever in your life. That's how you know it's channeled. Okay? So I would just take notes. This Melchizedek was king of Salem and priest of God Most High. He met Abraham, returning from the defeat of kings, and blessed him. And Abraham gave him 1/10 of everything. First, the name Melchizedek means king of righteousness. So Melchizedek is the king of righteousness. Then also the king of Salem, which means the king of peace. Without father or mother, without genealogy, without beginning of days or end of life, the immortal soul, resembling the Son of God, he remains a priest forever. So what we're talking about is the remnant that has been washed and stretched and subdued and mired in Black Lives Matter paint. Red, black, and green African tribal dances. And when I say tribal dances, I'm talking about the classic shuck and the classic jive from your modern day minstrels. But never once the truth of how we should be in reference to our divine counterparts. Because the people who had the voice, i.e. our singers and rappers and entertainers, our actors, they did sex scenes, they made sex songs, they did sex movies, they did sex video games, they did voiceover work for sex cartoons. Okay? The message was clear. You can fuck, and that's good. There's nothing wrong with having sex. Let's be clear. Have sex, get it over with. So when you dating, you getting to know a person, you get comfortable, you just fall into having sex. It's not making you bad. It's saying that you don't know any better. Period. Okay? So let's talk about why I'm even saying that. What do you even mean? So what we're breaking down is Melchizedek, which is two words, Melek and Tzedeq. We're going to get right into the fact that this is a channeled message from Archangel Gabriel. And he says that this is not the last, but there will be in sequential messages in this type form that we can understand in a clear type way. Now, I don't think he's going to introduce or let himself know who that he's sending these messages all like that all the time. But to set the tone off, I'm going to just show you something. Melchizedek is Melek, Tzedeq. Melek is king. Tzedeq is righteousness. Okay? But now look at this. Let's look at Melek. Let's look at Melek. Real quick. King Melek is used to describe both earthly leaders and the creator God. And we'll come to this again, but I just want to show you something. There is only one letter difference between King Melek, M-E-L-E-K, and the last week's word, angel, Malak, M-A-L-A-K. So Malak and Melek are interchangeable. It's telling us, and this is very important that you understand, because y'all do kind of feel like being prophets and being children of the Most High to put you in a lower position. No, you are kings and queens, but you can't just fuck the queen. You can't just fuck the king. There's a certain reverence about the king and queen's energy that y'all don't be actually holding when it comes to y'all sexual lives, and that's the foundation. I want to be clear about the message, and I want to hammer home the message so you leave this video, wherever you find this video, with understanding that what you do sexually is either helping you or is hindering you spiritually. And nobody is exempt. Married people. Sometimes we can use our marriage as a space to reflect what we are feeling on the inside, on our partners, or not, right? Because we feel as though we need our problem solved in this moment, or whatever reason. Never once do some relationships think of, how can I create a fantasy for my partner? How can I create a dream for my partner? How can we realize a dream? And as we were stating earlier, if you don't start from the foundation of what you're trying to build, you're not going to build shit. period. If you go to the job and you don't know if you're going to be a CEO or a CFO one day or higher upper management, they just saying just come and work every day and we'll do a yearly review and we'll give you a raise or whatever, and you don't know the stepping stones or what is it going to take, you say, all right, this is my position, but what is it going to take to get to this next level? Well, if you hit these benchmarks and you exceed in these test results, you will hit secondary manager level or whatever the fuck. Cool, right? That's righteous. Then when you hit those benchmarks and they keep you at the same level, then you say, all right, here goes my 2 weeks notice. That's righteous. They say, I don't fucking know. If you go to fucking Amazon, for instance, I have no fucking idea if you're ever going to get fucking promoted. No idea. Relationship. What are we building? We need to build. What are we purchasing? What is our credit? Like, what are we doing here? What are we doing? Women, you got a man that make you feel good and he comes into your feeling bubble and he don't disrupt your feeling bubble. You imagine that everything is good because he's in your feeling bubble. Y'all got children, y'all bonding. Sometimes he disturbs your feeling bubble, but he comes in and makes your feeling bubble a little bit better on Valentine's Day and shit like that. When you get mad, he responds to your anger. What are you building? You're not building shit. Hey, God make weak men every day. God make men weak to feminine beauty every day. But that is not a foundation. And you know it. You know it. So let's go back real quick. Let's fill in the blanks. So Melchizedek, Melek, king, angel, Tzedeq, righteousness. It's a very important hidden veiled message to this. Because in our first story, we are actually and literally talking about the birth of church, Abraham. This is the Levitical, the Hasidic Jews that you see in the neighborhoods and things like that, right? But that energy, that essence, that foundation came from Melchizedek, the king of righteousness. So if I give you something that I know is mine, you're borrowing it. The true lineage that has no days, no ending, remains a priest forever. So what we're talking about is the chosen ones that don't know that they're chosen ones. I say you children of the Most High, and it sounds interesting. I say you a spiritual being having a human experience, and it sounds interesting. When I say these two things, when y'all finally get it, y'all gonna scream and fucking rejoice. If you fully understood it, you wouldn't be confused, you wouldn't be worried, you wouldn't be looking at your life. You would fucking shit yourself if you fully knew that you were the child of the Most High. If you truly knew you were just a spiritual being having a human experience without genealogy. Name is nature. When you name a child, you are saying a child's nature. See, the thing about me, and I'm having this thing look a little crazy. Give me a second let me bring this up a little bit. Ooh, okay, that helps. Take that down. So Melchizedek, right? In the Bible, after Melchizedek, is another name called Adonizek. Now I have a son, my oldest son, get it? Melchizedek's oldest son is Adonizek. Now, my oldest son's middle name is Adonis. Okay? Now that's interesting. We got even more interesting correspondences between me and Melchizedek in the Bible for things that I never even seek out. I would have never gave a fuck about, honestly, keeping a being with you. But when angels speak, you must listen. See, the reality of spirituality is that you cannot buy a fucking course. You cannot read a book to activate it. That's the reality of it. You can't walk towards it and force it to open up for you. However, you can understand the nature of a flower and be patient and wait for its full development and understand that it will bloom, that its bloom is concealed through its growth and development. Never once have a person been walking around with a flower that hasn't fully bloomed, waving it around like it's beautiful. It hasn't fully developed yet. It hasn't matured. It hasn't showed what's been concealed. So all that I'm asking you to do is to feel great because you are a spiritual being having a human experience. And when it comes to your divine masculine or your divine feminine, you give them that. But y'all cannot wait to fuck, okay? That's the problem. That's the real problem. If you want to be honest, see, because it's not about action. Well, I haven't had sex. We haven't done nothing. Righteousness is not in action. Righteousness is in mind. That's where it fucks up at. That's where we all fall short at, because we know. And if we don't want to admit it, we say, fuck that shit. I could do whatever the fuck I want to do. And lose the harmony for which we've created with nature. Because nothing in earth says that they can do whatever they want to do. Everything in earth owes its connection to the earth. It's how much do you observe and how much do you appreciate said connection, which leads to truth and understanding and messages. But you got to really have eyes and you got to really have ears. So I want to bring a connection that's very important when we talk about Melchizedek. We're also talking about Malkut. Malkut Tzedeq. Melek Tzedeq. Through righteousness, you manifest. Malkut is manifestation. Tzedeq is righteousness. We're concerned, everybody that I've ever talked to. It's an experiment, y'all. I used to charge $200 for readings. I charge $100 for readings now because it never was that I was pressed. It was just more or less of my tolerance for wanting to talk to people versus how much I want to. Because once I feel like I don't want to talk to people, I'll just raise the price up. It'd be $500 some months, $200, just depends, right? It's $100 now. But anyway, it's not even a promotion because I don't care, right? Anyways, when I used to do $200 readings, people who could afford a $200 reading, right, would be like, well, I'm still trying to figure out what money is and stuff like that because, I got like 100,000 in savings and I'm just trying to figure out I just got this deal that's going to be worth another 50, but that's only 150, but my goal was to have 155. So you think I should get a second job? That's what I was really asking. The reading was excellent, on point. I loved it, but I really just need an extra 5 raques to because honestly, I got the timeshare, but the timeshare don't go to Aspen. And it sounds crazy that I'm actually, when I say it, it sounds crazy like I'm spoiled and ungrateful for all that God has given me. But is there anything in my chart that say I should, get a second job because I want to go to Aspen this winter, hood? And I'm just like, yeah, sure, I guess. You should have said that at the beginning. Right? And it's like, the whole thing is, we don't get it. I'm reading A Course in Miracles every day. And today it was talking about how we focus on everything but our soul in our development. Like, that's like, we want the car, we want the house, we want this. Our kids is acting up, everything, right? And it's like, yeah, hood, you always on spiritual, but this crazy ass situation that I've been going through, man, just been crazy. And I can't do nothing spiritual. Cause the shit been just so crazy. Like, it's just the craziest shit. Like, you would never even understand. I was trying to meditate. Goddamn atomic bomb came. It ain't hit my house though. It was like a couple of houses over. And of course, I got a good heart, hood. So I had to go see what happened, Had to save a couple of babies and a deer, right? And the deer was heavy. So dislocated my shoulder, and you know how you can't really meditate when you in pain, right? You feel me, right? So the whole time my shoulder been hurting, I ain't been doing nothing spiritual, but I got the sling off. It feel good. I'm thinking I'm gonna start meditating in 3 days. Cause you can't just jump in. You gotta kind of give it 3 days to really meditate. You always be talking about meditate too. You always be on my ass, and I'm just, hey, it's not something that I invented. It's not me telling you that you should connect to your soul, that you should shut shit off, that you should observe who you are at a psychic level. And if you don't find the need for it, I'm to the point in my life and in my practice that fuck it, right? Some people don't give a shit. No matter what I say, no matter what I do, right? But for those who have ears and those who have eyes, man, we got a lot of shit that we can start to uncover. Right? So when we talk about Malkuth, we're talking about kingship, manifestation, kingship, divinity, star being, or angelic transmission. You don't know. Sometimes you don't know. Sometimes you need a plan. Sometimes you're struggling. Sometimes your divine masculine is struggling. Spirit said it's too much judgment in relationship. That's why judgment and justice rules Libra. Because people think they righteous in their judgment. Like, people think, oh, you cheated on me, so that's my excuse. Oh, you didn't do what Kevin Samuels said you should do, so that's my excuse. That's judgment. It's not righteousness. Righteousness is understanding. Righteousness, y'all not going to understand. Y'all not going to understand love. Loving somebody that really don't understand that they even getting your fucking love. Right? They don't get it. They don't perceive it. They don't recognize it. They don't appreciate it. but you love as if you are a god. Because you are one. You don't love like a human, conditional and waiting for Mr. Right, or judging this relationship on you single and you looking at a beta male and an alpha female and you like, boy, I wish I had a girl that talked mean to me every fucking day like this dude. Cause you don't know the inside of their relationship. Period. You don't know. And I'm gonna tell you, 90% of relationships, toxic, not lands of righteousness. Cause we don't know. We're bonding. We're not building. We're bonding. And then we're on Instagram fronting. I don't front. The problem with me, and it probably gets on my wife's nerves, I'm not going to lie to you to make you happy, to make you feel comfortable. But if it's real, it's real. That's how I know I can understand my feelings. Because if I was a fake ass person and a person comes into my energy space and I'm just used to you getting this fake ass energy, then who knows, right? But if I call a spade and you play a diamond, I'm like, oh shit, it's a fucking diamond. It's real. When you get into relationships, it's not about the feelings of it. It's about, can both parties come to the same understanding and come into a space of manifestation? Because we will have sex. And when we do have sex, we will manifest. But if we have clear, cognizant communication in reference to our star beingness, divine masculine, divine feminine, that for which we manifest as child and life will be as divine as we say it is. This is the root of all manifestation. When you do it by yourself, when you do it for clout, when you do it because you think a motherfucker look cute and they got a whole bunch of other people that think they look cute and they all just think they look cute together, and ain't no concealment being unfolded, no kingdom talk, no relationship talk, because a motherfucker could teach you how to manifest a job, Ashe, teach you how to manifest a soul connection to deities and your job, and but love, you done fucked that shit up already, literally, figuratively, in all ways imaginable. Because once you get to the point of energy and building it up, you want to see what that thing is. You don't want to understand it. You don't want to understand it. You don't want to manifest. You don't want to build. You want to build with no foundation. So, in reference to the kingdom, I want to share this with you. This is Luke chapter 17, verse 20, 21. It's a lot of people at Saturday night, they shaking their ass at the club, and I ain't mad at you. But tonight I'm bringing divinity in everything that I do. The breakthrough for me is not to segment my divinity, but to bring it forth in all parts. And in that, I seek my tribe. That's the only way that my tribe can be sought, because if the divinity is compartmentalized in the spaces where you think I'm looking for the divinity, but the shitty energy is hidden in your fucking suitcase in the back of the closet, only to be revealed at a later date, you can miss me with it. Luke chapter 17, verse 20-21 reads as follows. And when he was demanded of the Pharisees when the kingdom of God should come, they was asking him, when is the kingdom coming? He answered them and said, the kingdom of God cometh not with observation. You're not seeing it in the physical world. Neither shall they say, here it goes. Or should they say, there it is. Behold, the whole entire kingdom of God is within you. You need to understand this. And why should this not be the conversation in your relationships? It's just a conversation that you listening to on YouTube with some goddamn meditation music in the background. It's a vibe, right? It's an energy, nice background and things of that nature. But when it comes to your relationships, it's not in reference to the kingdom of God being within you or being within him. It's, well, the rent is due on the 1st and it is the 19th. That means we 19 days late. What we gonna do? That's a tough one. I don't got no answer for you. Okay? So let's continue to break down. The kingdom is a manifestation. So we look at the kingdom in Kabbalah as the ultimate of manifestation. But that ultimate of manifestation don't come from nothing. Period. Only to an observer. But the kingdom of heaven can't be found through observation. The kingdom of heaven is found within you. So thus, that entire kingdom comes from you. And if you can't see it, it's because you fucking up. You have no foundation. You have no Yesod. You have no connection to it. You just halfway decent and you got a filling bubble. You look halfway decent, rather. You got a filling bubble. And the only thing you know is if you in my filling bubble and it feels good, you're going to be my boyfriend. And I'll give you some of this good punani. But if you upset my filling bubble, I'll leave you because there will be another person that wants this punani and I'll let him in my filling bubble. That's not righteousness. That's the opposite of righteousness. Fuck your filling bubble, sis. Fuck your feelings. What are we building? Because you wasting time. Yesod, foundation, is a sephirah in the Kabbalistic tree of life. Very simply, Kabbalah, to receive. What are receiving? So Kabbalah, Enochian magic. Enochian magic. John D. Who is John D receiving messages from? Was he receiving messages from Flintstones, from aliens, from animal spirits? No, he was receiving messages from archangels, specifically Michael. And the reason why we reference him receiving messages from archangels, because it was a whole Spanish armada. You got to understand. Spain was about to take over all of England, for which it was nothing that England could do about it. Spain had ships. England didn't have ships. Spain was coming for that ass. John D said, you know what? We going to do the angel said, let's do elemental magic. What the fuck is elemental magic, John D? Is when you start working with the elemental water and we going to capsize all of their fucking ships. I just need enough time. Give me enough men. We going to set up posts here, set up posts there. They did it. Boom, boom, bam, bam. The rest is history. The Spanish Armada, all of their ships was sunk, and England became the dominant power of all of the world. Now, England didn't just take over Spain. They took over this whole motherfucker. You feel me? How does a country as big as fucking California take over the whole country? I'll explain. Enochian magic, archangels, period. Pooh. So the angels will talk to anyone who connects. Angels, angles, higher consciousness is available, but is not available. It's not found in your desire for that for which you don't build the foundation to build this understanding to receive it. Kabbalah, to receive information. Some of y'all got over-processed egos. What do I mean? You are the exception to the rule. So when we talk about rules, when we talk about information, when we break down understanding, you don't want to get into it because you don't need it, because you look halfway decent and you got a feeling bubble. And people who piss you off, you just kick them out your feeling bubble. Well, let me break it down to you. That's not life. That's just you and your fucking feeling bubble. That's it. That's all you're doing. For which, if you could live in a world entirely out of love, you might get the connections and the communications you need. I don't know. Yesod, the foundation, is a Sephirah in the Kabbalistic tree. Yesod is below Tifereth, directly below Tifereth, to the left or right, depending on the direction for which you're looking at it at, is Had, and on the left or right, depending on your direction, is Nesach. And Yesod is above Malkuth. Excuse me. It can be seen as the vehicle from one thing or a condition to another. It is the power of connection. How does one connect? Now, I know y'all thinking sexual organs, right? The power of connection. We connect through sex. Now let's do the examination. Let's do the real world test. Are you connected to the people that you had sex with? Absolutely the fuck not. You're not connected to none of those people. Maybe the last person that you had sex with. Oh no, my pussy good. I'm connected to the... No, listen. The person who not dealing with you is happy that they not dealing with you. Don't get it confused. Nothing better than... Hey, it's all types of songs about being free. There's all types of songs. Freedom is essential to human nature. Never get it confused that a person is thinking about you or want to be with you, because if that was the case, they'll be there. You got to stop thinking people are good. You got to stop fantasizing about people that don't want you. Okay? You don't connect to people sexually. It might appear that way. It appears that way until you begin to have the conversations, until you get to the bottom of it, until you start to deal with the how do you look at life and how do you see life. Because imagine that a person who's been defensive versus a person who's been reducing their fear every day, battling their fears and trying to be the best person that they trying to be. And you come across a person that look halfway decent and you like, well, I've been working so hard to finally get this person. And this person maybe has been living in fear their whole life. So when you start to talk to them, it's like, well, I'm just trying to get a job at Mickey D's. I'm just trying to get a Geo Prism. I'm just trying to get a bus pass for the month. I just want to wear, because I got enough for a weekly. My goal is to just have enough money saved so I could just buy a monthly bus pass, and like, these is my goals. See how it seemed like you connected because they look halfway decent. And the more you start to talk to a person, you start to realize, oh shit, we going two completely trajectories of life. And I'm going to tell you the sad part about it. You only realize that after you finish fucking the motherfucker. Ain't that sad? It's funny because it's sad. It's funny and sad at the same time. You start having conversations. So what you want to do with your life? What is we doing in the, hold on. How you going to say, well, what is we doing? Right after he done fucking made you come 15,000 times. Now what is we doing? We done did what we doing. What the fuck? We didn't do it. We did it. We done it. It's over. What you mean? What is we doing? It happened last night. You was screaming my name. Oh, Rufus. Oh, Ruf. What you mean? What is we doing? I'm coming over. Look, you know, my wife go to sleep at 12. I'll be over there around 1:30, motherfucker. Put the key under the mat, too. Shit. Asking me what is we doing. Wait. Righteousness is not fucking somebody else's man without her knowing that you fucking them. That's the opposite of righteousness. It's like the literal opposite of righteousness. It's not right at all. It's like horrible. But you're doing it. Okay? So let's keep going. Let's keep going. So where are we at? Melek, Tzedeq, King, Malkuth, righteousness. Righteousness is the key to manifestation. We haven't broken down righteousness all the way. We haven't touched on it. I'm going to make sure you're not going to leave this video without fully understanding what righteousness is. But this information is so fucking belabored and fucking Jewish and Christian and religious overtones that I'm trying my best to make it interesting outside of boring y'all, right? Because to do the study, it's like I'm rabbi energy, right? Then I'm like, how am I going to flip this from rabbi? I got to be like a turnt rabbi or something like that, and I got to figure it out. So I'm trying my best to be the most turnt rabbi on your Saturday night. So if, in fact, I am the most turnt rabbi that the world has ever seen, Cash App is HoodMystic38, PayPal.me, the Hood Mystic, Venmo, Genie Kukulati, right? All of that is in the description. Patreon.com/HoodMystic. Might change it all to the most turnt rabbi. It's in develop. It's in the early conceptual state. I heard a nigga trying to be deep say that earlier, so I'm gonna start using that. Yeah, it's in the early conceptual stages, meaning that we haven't talked about it, but it sound good, so let me talk about like I'm actually talking about it, when in fact I ain't talking about it at all. It's in the early conceptual stages, the most turnt rabbi.com. So, Tzedeq, Yesod, Foundation, Kabbalah. I'm going to break that down. To receive righteousness is the foundation for angelic messages. Let me break it down even further. The angelic intercessors know for a fact when you on bullshit. And you don't know if you on bullshit until you tempted. So, if I'm a dude, right? I'm going to keep it a buck with y'all tonight because I love y'all. If I'm a dude, if you got a dude and he ain't cheating on you, don't get too excited. Don't get too excited, because would he cheat if he was tempted? And temptation comes in many different forms. See, temptation comes in perfection, y'all. Y'all, to be righteous, you got to be in the midst of perfection. Whoop, whoop. To be righteous, you gotta, I'm gonna explain to y'all perfection. I can't explain to y'all perfection. It's a fucking, it fucking takes over your nostrils. It invades your eyes. It's like booty and curves and symmetry and energy and youthfulness and receptiveness. It's everything you want out of a person, but not even to the point where I know you want this, but you can't have it. It's, I know you want this and you can have it. I'll even give you some money so you can have it. I'll even give you the keys to my Benz Bentley Beamer. Keys to my house. I'm way better than what you got at home. Come over this way, motherfucker. Guess what y'all do? They call it hypergamy. No, it's Satan. It ain't hypergamy. It's Satan, and you not living a righteous life. How are you going to find a man better than the person that you've developed not a bond with, but a connection with, in reference to the fact that you are spiritual beings having Oh, y'all don't talk like that. Y'all be humans. Humans? What you mean? Male, female? Yeah, I'm a man, she a woman. Oh, so you are the vehicle? What do you mean? So when you buy a Nissan, you change your name to Nissan Sentra? No, I'm the driver. The vehicle do what I say do. Oh, so let's backtrack. So are you a woman or are you a spiritual being having a human experience? I don't know. So the most fundamental question, before we get into Kabbalah, before we start talking about a spiritual, who are you? Because if you're a human, you better get an anatomy book, get some psychology or biology or chemistry. You don't need to get into no spirituality, data, mathematics or some shit like that. Fuck, what you mean? Because we talking about love, compassion, grace, real nigga shit. Oh, let's talk about Tone's ass in jail, writing his ass every day, making sure he got money on his books. That's love. Now, your husband paying rent, not even rent, mortgage. You got credit cards with both of y'all names on it. You just used them bitches. And he can't even get no head when he get home from work. How that work? Tone got letters written every day. Tone didn't even come home and see you after he got out of jail. He went straight home to his baby mama, and she ain't even write his ass. You ain't even seen Tone's ass. That's why you treat men bad to this day, because the last time you loved a man, he did you wrong. So now you get a man that love you. You don't actually love him because you're afraid of what might happen. You're not righteous. Since you're not righteous, you don't get access to the foundation of all of heaven. Okay? So for all that is in heaven and on earth. So to break that down, for all is word, cool. That is in is Yesod. So for all, Tzedeq, righteousness, righteousness is a rule. There is no wiggle room around it. If you are fucking, you're not righteous. You're fucking. Righteous is to look at something that you would absolutely take the fuck down. Hello? What's up? I'll be home in a second. About another hour or so. Got a couple more slides. You said donuts? Not tonight. Or yeah, I got you. It ain't gonna be like the good ones, but I got something. I'll get you something something like it. Well, let me finish this video real quick. I thought this was your mom.
Yeah, she's picking up cotton.
Okay. I'll see y'all in a second.
See you later.
Yes, sir. Let's do this again. For all that is in heaven and on earth. For all righteousness, a rule, no wiggle room, is the foundation of said world. Animal sex, spiritual sex, not the same thing. So the spiritual nigga that had all the spiritual words, but ended up fucking you the same way as a nigga from Tinder or Plenty of Fish, just goes to show you that spiritual sex and regular sex are two separate things. And a nigga talking about sex and utilizing sex as his modality to connect to women is a fucking lowlife. The Tzedeq is the foundation of the world. Tzedeq is the foundation of the world. Righteousness is the foundation of the world. I got all types of girls that I'm having sex with, but they don't know that I'm having sex with them. Not righteous. Okay? Sex is not bad. That's not what we're saying. Lying and not holding space to the point that you know exactly what you're creating is the problem. Not because it's bad, but the same way if you're trying to make a building and the fucking contractors think that they're making a house. So the supplies and everything is all fucked up. Why wouldn't everybody be on the same page? The architect, the foreman, the masons, everybody involved know exactly what the fuck we're building. Why is that so hard? You know why it's so hard? Because you're too busy fucking. The Tzedeq is the foundation of the world. When we say foundation, we don't even know what we're saying. We're just saying it, so let's talk about it. Foundation, noun, etymology. A founding. To lay a bottom or a foundation. What's a bottom? We know what a bottom is. That's why I say the words is always concealed within the words. So of course, the foundation, you say the foundation, within the etymology of foundation is to lay a bottom, to lay a bottom. And if you say it, you keep saying it, you like, will you get some ass? What is an ass? An ass is bottom, buttocks. I'm getting some booty. I'm not like, it's not like anal, right? It's not literally the anus. It's copulation. So to lay a foundation, when you lay a foundation in esoterics, metaphysics, is sexual acts. So until you do the sexual act in reference to clarity, communication, connection, activated sacral chakra, emotional intelligence, the foundation that you lay is some bullshit. And it's not like I'm dissing you, it's just the facts. If you went into the world and said, oh, I'm about to build something, all right, what's the foundation and what's the logistics of building a foundation? I don't know. I just want to have a nice fucking bedroom and a nice kitchen with a fucking with an island in it. That's all you want? Yes, I just want to fucking, all right, we'll just, hey, she don't want us to build a foundation, guys. She just want us to build a fucking kitchen with an island in it. She sure? Yeah, she said she don't give a fucking foundation. She just want an island so she can cook her foods the way she want to cook her foods for her family or whatever the fuck she said. All right, gang, we about to build this fucking kitchen with a fucking island in it with no foundation. Soon as the first rainstorm come, the whole kitchen gone. So there goes your fucking dream fucking home. So what I'm saying is the foundation of what you want plus the work that you put in to actually build the foundation, to not be abstract, to not use an analogy, the conversations that you have with your divine masculine, with your divine feminine about sex, about sexual energy, about sexual molestation. See, a lot of y'all get into relationships with men and you don't tell them, I was violated, I was raped. You making decisions out of fear. He might leave me if I tell him the truth. Well, why wouldn't you want somebody to leave you if you told them the truth? That don't even make sense. I want to tell you everything about me so you can leave me, because I don't want nobody around me that don't want to be around me for my authentic energy. Period. I at least want to set the example of authenticity so maybe you can follow behind me at the very least. And if you're going to judge me for my authenticity, that's fine. That's the nature of me telling you my truth. So you can judge me so I can know the type of person that you are, idiot. So if I tell you this is how I'm feeling and this is what I'm going through and it turns you off, then good. Why would I tell you something that's going to turn you off, but after I fuck you, fellas? And the things that I be doing and the people that I be seeing and the temptation that I be faced with, ain't nobody trying to talk. They want to see what the fuck, what's shaking. They got lingerie now. They got all types of shit. They doing cosplay. They fucking different characters. Who you want me to be? I'll be Betty Boop one day, Marilyn Monroe the next day, fellas. It's serious out here. They ready to fuck. As a man, you ain't strong enough to be righteous. You wouldn't be able to say no. She's sending you pictures and videos and shit like that. You're not righteous. You're the opposite of righteous. And if you ain't righteous, you can't build a foundation. So what you gonna do when you get with a young lady? You gonna waste her fucking time and ruin her fucking life. All you gonna do is fuck her. You're not gonna protect. You're not gonna provide. You gonna fuck her when you can fuck her, and she gonna get tired of you energetically, and you gonna be mad. She gonna be mad. Y'all not righteous. Y'all not foundation. Y'all don't even have fundamentals in reference to the relationship that y'all living in and planning in. Because once you build the foundation, you progress the fundamentals. And all these things are necessities for relationships. This is why the seventh house rules marriages, logistics, paperwork, what you gonna stand on. All the shit that you ain't ready to deal with. So foundation leads to fundamentals. The primary, original, and is pertaining to a foundation. So all of the things that we do in this relationship is related to the foundation. Now imagine a relationship that has no foundation. What the fuck can you do? Besides travel and shit and do TikTok videos, like what the fuck can you do? You don't have no basis or guidelines for the relationship. There's no fundamentals. Get it? Where do your fundamentals come from? Or what do they create? Fundament. A fundament is a foundation, a base, a buttocks, or anus. It represents where one sits. At first, it's abstract, but the more I started to think about it, I took it like this. And y'all can correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm okay with being wrong in this subject matter. But when we sit down and fucking talk, you can't sit and fuck. I mean, you can if you really think about it. However, nothing shows me that I love the divine feminine than me sitting down and having a conversation to the point that I'm able, when I see a wall break down, when I see a truth being revealed, when I see a connection being made, when I see a divine feminine trust me. Nothing better than that. But if I have my dick in my hands, she can't trust me. She can't open up. She's only going to tense up and make it even worse. And I got to constantly remind myself and constantly hold myself to a higher standard through my temptation, through my fire. That's righteousness. Being able to sit on your ass and stand on your ass. Y'all don't understand. So getting to the bottom of it, right? Sitting down, getting to the bottom of it, right? Because I love you. What we do? I love you, so let's have sex. I love you, so let me take advantage of this situation. The bottom, the ground, the soil, the foundation, the lowest or deepest part of anything. So this whole little spread to break down the foundation of manifestation is quite simply our ability to copulate, to desire communication with the same fervor, even more through sincerity of conversation. See, ulterior motives, hidden motives. I'm talking to you, but I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to you because I want the pussy. Who knows this more than we even know this? Our angel intercessory. Yeah, you not ready. Yeah, you not righteous. It's humanity. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know where I'm going. I'm just latching on to shit. You not righteous. You won't get to the lowest, deepest part of anything. You won't get to the bottom of it because you can't find it within yourself. And if you can't find it within yourself, see what happens when you get to the bottom of it, you stand on it. I love you, and I went through this, and I realized that this is who I am. And what I realized this morning is that, oh shit, not being sexually motivated when you're dealing with a woman, you start to realize that, oh, this motherfucker wants to take advantage of your boy. Period. Now we got to stand on something because I don't want to have sex. I don't want to fuck. I want to get to the bottom of it. I want to build. Oh, you want to play hide and go get it. That's the energy, huh? That's the energy. So let's talk about righteousness. Let's get it. We've been talking about it, but we haven't really talked about it. Let's get into the metaphysics of righteousness. So when you on a blind date and he asks you some silly shit, so what do you look for in a man? And you tell him, I seek righteousness. And he say, okay. Are you a righteous man? And he says, yeah, I'm righteous. What would righteous mean? You see my legs right now? Where are they? Your legs, your ankles is behind your head. And you got on a mini skirt and you don't got on no panties. So I can see your uterus from here. This is how I like to stretch. So I'm gonna want to have to stretch and not you want to have sex with me or nothing like that. Is you okay with me stretching like this? I don't know. So let's go further. Righteousness, a state of harmony established in consciousness through the right use of God-given attributes. See, the power of love is that you realize that nobody will love you, but that does not stop you from loving, because loving is not fucking. Loving is not being hurt. Loving is the power to stand in your communication, if with nobody, with yourself. So what we're talking about is harmony. Harmony is knowing your position within the situation, for which if you do too much within a harmonic situation, you ruin thus the harmony. So the connection between you and heaven, let's go back, because I don't want to go too far. I don't want to get abstract. For all that is in heaven and on earth, period. Tzedeq foundation is the gateway between divinity and humanity. Righteousness is the gateway between divinity and humanity. I can put out a course. I can put words together. I can have 1 million views on YouTube. I can do all of these things. Or I can be righteous. I can stand in the fire and not be tempted by the flames, because I am the flame. A state of harmony. What do I mean? Let's go back, because there's a lot of things that's being discussed, and I don't want us to not understand. And I really, one's, if this is making sense. Two, if this is some crazy shit. One's, if this is making sense. Two, if this is some crazy shit. It is telling us that a messenger of the king is very similar to the king himself. If we are to be messengers for our king, for our soul, we should be like our soul who sent us. Melek, Malkuth, king, kingdom, manifestation, must have a foundation. One, if it's making sense. Two, if it's the craziest shit that you ever did here. And I don't know what's going on. A state of harmony established in consciousness through the right use of God-given attributes. It leads directly to eternal life. Righteousness leads directly to eternal life because the reality is spiritual being having a human experience. There is no block to that. Right? How could it be a block to my divinity if it isn't myself? How am I blocking myself? Mind. How I'm thinking. First what, then how. What? Child of the Most High. Spiritual being having a human experience. How? Communication, connection, righteousness between you and your divine masculine and divine feminine. There is no reason you shouldn't have a community. There's no reason you shouldn't have lovers. There's no reason you shouldn't have friends. Can't be them if it's you. If you the common, this is like, if you the common denominator, then you the common denominator. Stop putting it on everybody else and start thinking in accordance for which you are building. Truth working in conscious brings forth perfect salvation of the whole man. Period. Where you get complicated is when you have false motherfuckers working in consciousness saying, oh, you just need to pay 59 scammity scam to get this flimity flam. Obviously, the manifestations behind scam work is going to birth more scam manifestations. You're not righteous if you're not trying to bring forth your spirit, your soul, and your body. That is your righteousness. Your soul, your souls are so powerful, it'd be hard pressed for you to be up under any motherfucker. I'm not a leader. Only thing I'm doing is a motherfucker on YouTube telling people that they should follow their fucking souls. When it's all said and done. Well, what you do? I just told motherfuckers that they should listen to their souls, for which they can receive true enlightenment beyond a flim-flam skim scammer like me. What the fuck? How the fuck I'm gonna help you? You know how I can't help you? Because I can tell you the illest shit in the world. Guess what you gonna do afterwards? Smoke crack? Do meth? Take a Percocet pill? I can't help you. You gonna have to help yourself. And once you do help yourself, once you do say, I am not the vehicle, I am not a man, nor am I a woman, I'm a spirit, soul, and a body, for which I must be righteous, I must be philanthropic, I must be a guardian angel, I must be a giver, I must be a lover, I must love unconditional because I am a fucking God. I am a rejoice in the flesh. I am joy personified. I am prosperity personified. I'm what money looks like. I'm what love looks like. I am what a soul looks like. Motherfucker, why would I have to pull my dick out? Why do I gotta get fucks? I did all that shit when I was a human. Now, once we get spiritual, once we have the spiritual awakening, now we can talk. What's the problem? Y'all get spiritual and y'all start actually fucking. Cause y'all couldn't get no pussy when y'all wasn't spiritual. You was just lame. Not righteous. Not righteous. The right side is always on the side of truth, the side of power. So we're not saying right or wrong, we're actually saying power. We're actually saying truth. We're actually saying we're building a building here. The foreman know, the architect know, the mason know, the nigga who doing the drywall know, the electrical person know, everybody know. So when the motherfucker rolls off code, it's not that we mad they off code, it's just that I can't do my job if the electrical don't know what he doing. If the window maker doing triangle windows and the architect said it was square windows, we not being productive. I.e., we're not being powerful. So now let's not be abstract. Your wife want to live in a house. You want to live in an apartment. You don't know where the fuck you want to live because you can't even fucking manage $20 correctly. You don't know shit about shit. You got kids, can't give them nothing. Because you're not righteous. You didn't plan. See, if you sat and talked, she wouldn't be a baby mama, now would she? Now think about it. You wouldn't be in child support, now think about it. You wouldn't be stressed the fuck out if you sat down and talked. If you sat on your bottom, if you sat on your ass instead of giving him some ass, you wouldn't be asking nobody for no fucking reading about the stress that you've been experiencing. You would be living a fucking reading because you with your divine masculine and you expressing your divine feminine through conversation, through exploration, through understanding the depths of the soul of the man in front of you. How the fuck you gonna do that when you only see him as a paycheck? You know women don't give a fuck about you, bro. You've been on too many dates. They too curious as if you gonna save them financially or not. The moment she realizes that you're not going to help her financially, her pussy dries up exponentially fast within the fucking second. That shit calcifies. That's where the Medusa shit came from, whether you know it or not. A nigga told her that he wasn't going to support her financially and her pussy turned to stone. That's the truth. They just don't, that's the occult mystery that they don't never tell you about. Let's get back. Righteousness, the right side, truth, power. Whenever you, the master, are there, the nets are filled with ideas because you are in touch with the infinite storehouse of wisdom. You're too busy fucking to realize it though. Too busy fucking to sit and plan and architect your life with your divine feminine. Not everybody, because when you look at the world, that's how motherfuckers get down. Man and woman plan their life, figure out how many children they want to live, how much it's going to cost to do this and do that, put their fucking resources and finances together. It's going to take us this much to live. All right, so we going to need this amount of money. I'm bringing this amount of money to the table. You bringing this amount of table. We going to budget our money like this. And then we just going to live our life according to our fucking plan that we both discussed through the depths of our understanding. You didn't manipulate a man into doing what you wanted him to do. You didn't manipulate a woman to do what you wanted to do because whatever the case. Cause you know, like men to be, you fucked the shit out that girl. You fucked the shit out that girl. She kind of crazy now, and now you taking advantage of her. You know how that shit go. You're not righteous. She all in love with the dick. She dickmatized and shit like that, and you taking advantage of it. You're not righteous. Whenever you, the master, are there, the nets are filled with ideas because you are in touch with the infinite storehouse of wisdom. This is the key that unlocks the door. When the black man or the black woman, and to be subjective or to just speak to my crowd or just to say I don't give a fuck, when the black man and the black woman stop fucking each other and start talking to each other and not talking to each other for the sake of judgment, how you look, how much money you got, but to understand the depths of a hurt man, of a hurt woman, and say, you know what? I'm going to love you anyway, black man. I'm going to love you anyway, black woman. It don't matter if you my type. That's righteous. Therefore, you are always in touch with the infinite storehouse of wisdom, talent, creative, and abilities. You are for which you give. See, if you give unconditionally, you receive unconditionally. These are mysteries to manifestation. These are the foundations to manifestation. This is the channeled message that was received to me, and it just never ceases to stop making fucking sense to me at the end of the day. So that's why I'm sharing. Let's talk about righteousness from a different perspective. Another clue. My mother's name is Tanya. So according to the Hasidic Tanya, the true title of Tzedeq denotes a spiritual description of the soul. Its true meaning can only be applied to one who has completely sublimated their natural, animal, or vital soul inclinations into holiness, wholeness, integration of the soul, the acknowledgement and awareness of the soul, so large that you don't put your weak-ass womanhood in front of your divinity. Yes, of course, I should pay for the rent and do all of these things, but what if you were divine? What if you decided to love me, sis? What if you stepped outside of your hurt? What if you stepped outside of your fear? What if you stepped outside of your past and said, today I'm going to love. Today I'm loving, I'm embodying love, unconditional love. I'm living within my unconditional love energy. Because you know what I need? I need somebody to love me unconditionally if I want to be frank and honest and a buck and just real about the whole situation. I want to be bathed and nurtured and showered in God's love if I'm going to be honest. And I don't know how to receive that love if I'm going to be honest. All I know that I can do is give it. My whole life, you want to know something about me that it doesn't break me down. It really kind of inspires me to know that my output is completely based on what I've sought to receive from people. That's why I am the way that I am. Okay? So going further, it's very important that we understand that righteousness, not my rules, but from a understanding of how this shit lays down, you have to remove your animal and vital inclinations so that you can only experience the love and awe of your soul without material temptations. Hence, a Tzedeq or a righteous person serves as a vehicle to God. So what that means is your existence is an example of what God is like. So when you show up cranky, pissy, manipulative, you're saying that's how God is like, and that's not how God is like. Period. God is shining light down, giving fruits and energies to anybody who opens their fucking mouth. It's all lessons being taught. So hence, a Tzedeq or righteousness or Yesod or your foundation serves as the vehicle or the Merkaba to God. So, spiritually, when you seek to manifest, it's one thing to write in your journal by your fucking self, who gives a fuck, right? You on bullshit, not righteous. It just feels good and sounds good. And spiritually, if you don't split a Red Sea, or if you don't change the dimensions of time, if you don't manifest anything great, then what's the point of you being spiritual? To just be a regular motherfucker? To be crying and hurt and pissed off and in negative situations? Or should your spirituality stand for something? So when your spirituality stands for something and you set a goal, and that goal is righteous, and that goal is in truth, and that goal does not have an ulterior motive tucked underneath the corner, or there ain't no trauma and negative energy, or is you got fucking bodies and skeletons in your closet and fucking homosexual activities that you really about, but you're not really ready to talk about, but you, like, why is you serving two masters? That shit just sounds too exhausting to me. To think about, oh, I'm really this way, but I want to be this way too. Why don't you just be both fucking ways or something? I don't know. Like, and another point, why the fuck do it matter? So your true vehicle, your true foundation actually has no ego or self-consciousness. Let's keep reading, because this is important. Note that a person cannot attain such a level, rather it is granted on high, or born with it. This is another thing about me. I'm not like y'all. I'm not like humans. I ain't never was at the fucking lunch table. I was at, like, what label? Was you with the jocks, the geeks, the nerds, the gangsters? I was at the table by myself. I was at the fucking alien table. And I learned at a very young age, and this was something that I've learned, and I never shook it, and I never even realized it till today, is that I base friendships and relationships on how much I give. Period. And I'm not going to change because motherfuckers are pieces of shit. I was born this way. This was my gift. To have the spirit of peace, to have the spirit of love, and be so fucking confused when a person say, "Ooh, this love felt good," and not give you nothing in return. And then, for the fact of you not getting nothing in return, you gave them your ass to kiss or more negative energy because they didn't continue to give you that which you couldn't return. This select level elevates the intermediate person into one who never sins in thought, speech, or action. Righteousness, thought, speech, and action. Mainly thought, because y'all talk a good game. As far as we see on Instagram, you act a good game. But thought is where you need to have the self-reflection at. Because the last time I checked, you be beating yourself up because you do not understand what you are. You only look at what you do, being disconnected from what you are. That's not righteous. Unlike the Tzedeq, they only experience divine communion during devoted moments of worship or study. While in mundane life, this is very important, they can be tempted by natural inclinations, but always choose to stay connected to holiness. Divine yoni, being wafted in your nostrils and you smelling the labia juice. And the thing about me, I'm 37, I think. I lose track at this point. I'm to the age now that I'm not surprised by wet vagina. Meaning that when I was younger and I used to hang out with girls and I pull their pants down and I see the vagina all wet and sticky, I'd be like, dang, you like me like that? Like, I just don't understand. What's going on with you? You all right? Is it supposed to be like this? Now I'm older. I get a sense. Oh, the juices are stimulating. Righteousness activated. And I'm only telling y'all this because this is the only way you can be righteous. To avoid punani juice just means you're not righteous. You don't know if you're strong if you don't lift weights. You can mentally think, hey, I can lift 400 pounds. Don't look that heavy. He can do it. I can do it too. To actually do it though, you gotta actually do that shit. You gotta stand in that fire to say, I'm this strong. I can handle 400 pounds because I done handled the fucking weight. I can handle that shit. Avoiding polygamous situations, attractive women, attractive men, conversations in reference to these types of things just means you're not righteous. That's all it means. It don't mean you better than me because I'm having a conversation about facing my fear, about facing my temptation. It's a difference. Big difference. In the Tanya, the difference between, and that's where we stop at. So let's keep going. I got a lot. I'm telling you, I got about four more slides, and then y'all can go to sleep. 3. So we're talking about the foundation of Kabbalistic mysticism, the outer layers, the Star of David, a cute little symbol on the flags. We wave it around. Blue Star of David. Yippity dippity doo. The esoterics and occult metaphysics of this sign is deeply tied to sexual practice. So the symbol of the religion is a symbol of sex because the foundation of the religion is the union of masculine and feminine energy. Sex may or may not happen, but the manifestations and the logistics behind manifestation and sex, anything you wish to manifest within that relationship can and will happen because you are spiritual beings having a human experience. All it simply takes, this is the mystery of the Star of David. Now, I'm giving you the channel so the information is dense, but I just have to give it to you so you can understand how channels work. So when you hear a channel, you'll be like, that's a channel versus a nigga just saying some fly shit, right? So let's go. The Star of David. Let's go back. King David. David, divine, divinity. David wrote the Psalms. David was a writer. David was a priest. David was a king. David was also a star. Star of David. We never get too far from astrology, whether we like it or not. Star of David is the symbol and the key and the foundation for all manifestation through righteousness. But let's read. The six-pointed star is a symbol of Judaism because the star was the symbol and the root of the name Ishtar. Ishtar was also known as the Queen of Heaven. Why? Because heaven and earth, righteousness is the foundation and the brightest star in the sky, and what we now call the planet Venus. This is why the Roman goddess of love, life, and sex, and their equivalent Ishtar and Aphrodite, is named Venus. It is also why the female pubic mound is called the Mound of Venus. The number 6 is also significant as it is used as a euphemism for the word sex. This explains why the Bible gives the number of man or the mark or the number of beast or the devil as 6 or 666. This mark is also clearly referring to the Jewish six-pointed hexagram. The hexagram was a classical sex symbol representing coitus, with one triangle representing the female genital triangle and the other triangle representing the phallus coupling. This confirms that Judaism, Christianity, and even more so Protestantism or Protestantism can quite legitimately be termed a fallacy or phallus E or phallus Y. Is y'all lying? It's all about sex. But sex is animal sex, and then there is spiritual sex, which gets activated when two divine masculines and two divine feminines know for a fact that they are in fact divine, and so their divinity is not in them judging one another. But what we call relationships in 2022 is just you getting into a person that you don't feel like you need to judge all that much. Tragedy. Let's keep going. So, Melchizedek. Tzedeq is Yesod. Melek is Malkuth. But Malkuth and Tzedeq are one because everything that is manifest has to be manifest from a foundation. Every child born is from a sexual communion. Every manifestation between divine masculine and divine feminine is from a conversation, a communication, and a connection, and a one goal that they both can stand behind. The reality is that relationships are battlegrounds for compromise, and one person's going this way and another person's going that way, and nothing is taking place. Relationships, you need to be taking trips and vacations and traveling and living your best life because you are two whole individuals who can manifest anything because both of you have access to the infinite storehouse. When one person is woke and the other person is asleep, then y'all both sleep. Because within that relationship is no righteousness. In the divine, Yesod is the ninth Sephirah in the middle balanced column, connecting all the higher Sephirot, the centered on Tiferet, beautiful, emotional harmony, to the last Sephirah, Malkuth, realization and kingship. In the flow of divine creative life force, this is why I'm calling this video the foundation of manifestation, because when you get into the flow of creative life force, this represents the connective channel between heaven and earth. So all of the extra shit that you got to do, you don't do it no more. You just walk into the fucking creative, divine, creative life force, and you don't fuck it up by pulling your dick out. You would never see the reason why I can be with vagina juice wafting in my fucking nose hairs is because what me and my wife have created is so beautiful that no pussy could ever come between that. My wife don't even believe me when I say that, because she be seeing this shit too. And I'm saying, I'm telling you, a foursome with a bunch of light-skinned girls with pussy that smell like natural flowers and a little bit of fish smell to keep the natural fragrance going still wouldn't pull me up out of myself. Because the vision is so beautiful. I would never give up the vision. I would never walk out of heaven. I'm not fucking Jagged Edge. My edges are smooth. More mystery. This represents the connecting channel between heaven and earth, between the Holy One, blessed be He, which represents the divine masculine, and the Shekinah, which represents the Malkuth, indwelling divine, immanent female presence of God. It's better to talk to her. Listen to her, help her, guide her, love her, pour into her. Don't talk shit about her to get views, because the algorithm says if you bash black women, you'll get views. It's a lady, her name Crimson Cure. Every single day, she got videos talking about how black women ain't shit, and she a black woman herself. If the views wasn't popping, Kevin Samuels have women come on and berate women, and he's the #1 YouTube subscriber. If he said, I think black women are the gods of the earth, he would get shadow banned. For the sake of the union, the union of what? The divine masculine and the divine feminine. Never once is we talking about animal sex. We're talking about generating energy. So let's go back to the beginning. What we've been doing for this presentation is breaking down, if you just now tuning in or pulling in a little late and things of that nature, wondering what the fuck we talking about. What we've been talking about is Hebrews chapter 7, verse 1 through 3. This Melchizedek, this kingdom of righteousness, was also the king of priests and was also a representative of the Most High, intelligent creator, nature, preserver, sustainer, and maintainer of the earth that we walk on every single day. He met Abraham, creating a Levitical system, a priesthood. However, that Levitical system still gave the original priesthood 1/10 of everything. First, the name Melchizedek means king of righteousness. Then also king of Salem, which means the king of peace. See, the thing about being righteousness, that there is no tense. I empathize with everyone. I never feel as though a negative situation is an excuse for me to feel bad. Because when I was in prison, wasn't nobody there to hold my hand or hug me. I had to figure it out. So if you're going through something, it's not to say that I'm heartless. It's to say that I believe in you the same way that I believe in myself, to heal yourself the same way that I've healed myself. And I'm doing you a disservice. I'm doing myself a disservice because I'm not removing my joy because you can't find the joy within yourself. Motherfucker, I'm the king of peace. I'm not a servant of peace. I don't gotta pay money for peace. I own peace. I'm sovereign in my peace. Everybody in the world will seek to take your peace from you until you teach them to find peace within themselves. For then you can have the communication. See, but as a man or as a divine woman, you must be patient as people come into their divinity. Therefore, you can't just fuck to pass the time. Without father, without mother, without genealogy, without beginning of days or end of life, resembling the Son of God, he remains a priest forever. So what I want to talk about is generating energy through your relationships to where you have a successful relationship when your relationship is generating energy. This is how you know. Because within the generations is generate. And you can, of course, generate children if you want. Or you can generate businesses, generate communities, generate love, friendships, bonds, organizations, generate something, I don't know. Generate a fucking kitchen business, sell fucking salmon dinners and shit. Make fried salmon sandwiches or some shit. Your wife cook and you deliver the fucking food. Generate something. Right? This is the foundation of manifestation. Because first off, you're gonna need help. I'm gonna tell y'all. I would be nothing without my wife. I would be nothing without my wife. Nothing. I was thinking about it earlier. The reason that I love my wife so much is because she holds the space for me to be me. That's and nobody has ever done that, because the reality of me is that I'm realizing that, oh, I'm a little special. I don't know what. Like, I was watching this program with this lady and she was like explaining how she was. And I was like, I'm like that. But see, if you are special or you have like something with you, like that you're not like everybody else, you might like hide that part of you and just try to be like everybody else. And what I realized today is that, oh, I might be allowing you to take advantage of me. And even if I do that and you're with that and we all take advantage of each other, nothing is being generated. And this is what self-reflection allows us to do in our relationships. I don't want you to use me because I'm going to give a lot. And it's not like I can help myself. I'm a child of the Most High. I'm connected to the infinite storehouse. I have so much to give you. But I really need you to connect to the same thing that I'm connecting to. Through truth, through patience. We're going to allow our lotus to actually bloom. We're going to allow our spirit to actually awake. We're going to be patient in generating and producing that which exactly we want in our relationships, not by our fucking self. That's the challenge. Cause he wants a fucking F-150 and you want a minivan. Y'all can only buy one car. There is a right decision on what vehicle the family needs, though. This is where the conversation is coming. All right, let's do the pros and cons. We have 5 children. You want to get an F-150. I'm getting a van so we can fit all the children in our van. Guess who wins? The person who chose the fucking van. Guess who don't win? The person that chose the F-150. That's love. Because now you got all your children in the vehicle. If you didn't love, then you would get the F-150 and now you got the baby in the back. Like not the back of the cab, the back of the truck. Waving at people on the highway and shit. So, within our relationships, we have to make the best decisions, and we can't make the best decisions if we're judging each other and we're just in our feeling bubbles and everything is perfect within our feeling bubbles. Within our comfort zones, we're not thinking to manifest because we're already comfortable. Get off your ass, step outside, and see how y'all can affect the world through y'all magical abilities within y'all relationships. Because if y'all can get this shit together, if I can bear witness in the fact of my wife's divinity, and she can bear witness in the fact of my divinity, therefore we are divine. But even in that, you have to be righteous. We're finishing up. Love creates the unity of spiritual covenant. For Abraham, this descended into action to become expressed in the physical covenant of circumcision, which is a play on removing the ego barrier of the heart. Not an actual circumcision of your thing, because in reality, you're not supposed to do that. So it's kids within that religion that don't get circumcised. So Christians get circumcised, but Jewish kids don't get circumcised. But Christians got the religion from Jewish. So you make that make sense. So even further, Yesod expresses this descent. An ununiting spiritual and physical foundation is the beginning of a building and the conclusion of a planning. To circumcise means to go all the way around, like to look at a whole situation and cut all of the bullshit, all of the foreskin, so you can get to the actual point. Once again, the Bible is not talking about not one person that actually existed on earth. It's all allegorical, all metaphysicals to awaken the God within you. Each Sephirah contains an inner dimension as a soul motivating its outer Kabbalistic emanating function. Hasidic thought explores the divine motivation within by psychologizing. That's the word, I ain't making it up. Psychologizing Kabbalah through man's experience. The inner motivation of Yesod, or righteousness, is emet truth, which means each person's desire for their actions reflect their true soul intention. It's not something that you just wake up and do when you got jealousy in your heart, when you got judgment in your heart, when you got trauma in your being, and you're not doing the work to free yourself from it. Because when you got judgment in your heart, you're not acting your true soul intention. You acting out of your judgment. I'm judging you negatively, therefore I'm not fucking with you because I've judged you effectively and negatively, for which you're not a person that I would want to fuck with. Because I'm judging you. Right? That's not the true soul intention. Fulfilling in each action God's essential intention for creation. What is God's essential intention for creation? One would say love, but love is broad. I would break it down to protect, to provide, and to pour into, from my perspective. I don't know what a woman's true soul intention is in the realms of relationship. I have not yet met a woman mature enough to answer that question. Every time I talk to a woman, she's judging and basing a man based upon how good he can love her. I've never heard a woman say, I stand in the love that I have for this man to love this man unconditionally. He ain't shit. He a fuck boy, flunky, crash dummy, but he is the love and the flame of my heart. Never once heard y'all say that. Y'all will let go of a nigga and wait for a better nigga, as if niggas is buses. Keep waiting. One might show up, you just never know. Keep waiting, keep your fingers crossed. When we're trying to manifest love, it's very simple. Let's read this again. Each person's desire, so the desire, the deep want and need for your actions to align and reflect with your soul's intention. To get to the bottom of it, to figure out what is my soul's intention, I'll help you out. It's found in unconditional pouring into. I'm not strong enough to do that. Well, that's the work. Well, can I just take classes from people? Can I just get readings? Can I just keep getting lied to by spiritual peoplehood? Of course you can. But when you're ready to manifest and you're ready to get to the foundation of manifesting, you will learn to reflect and align and act in reference to your soul intention. Your soul intention is not abstract or vague. You love who you love, right? You want to pour into who you want to pour into. And they may not pour back into you, but that's not the nature of your love. That is not the nature of your soul intention. You must learn. So fulfilling in each action is God's essential intention for creation, which is creation, generation, or generating, to beget, or to give birth to, or to produce. This is your nature. Your nature untamed is creating a life that is uncontrollable and chaotic. But in nature, fully aligned and fully moved into and full attention, is that a life where you're receiving the angels' guidance in every step and every turn. And I'm only reflecting a life for which I am living presently, a life completely guided spiritually. And I'm so grateful. And the purpose of this share is to share in my gratitude for angelic correspondence. So I didn't ask for it. I received it. I received it and I understood and I shared. And I'm happy and that I was able to share it. The Tzedeq experiences the wish for divine purpose consummately. So the righteous experiences the wish. See, some of y'all just wish and just wish and just, I wish I had a man. I wish I had a girl. Go to sleep, wake up, same shit. I wish I had some money. I wish I could do this. I wish I could do that. But to be righteous is to experience the wish. This is what I wish for you. To be connected to what you wish for. To experience what you wish for. And it's not hard. It's simple. The end has to be involved in the beginning. Y'all don't be knowing what's happening. I'm just with him because, you know, he cute. He got a little money about himself. That is not purpose. That is not intent. Just acting off of impulse and loneliness and fear and triggered, and just thank God that you look halfway decent. Otherwise, you would be legit suicidal. But you know how to put that shit on a little bit and feel good when you go out to the club on Saturday. People tell you still you look good for your age. How old is you? Oh, you in your 40s? Looking ass. If it wasn't for that, if it wasn't for black not cracking, a lot of y'all would be doing some real evaluations. But, you know, thank God that you look halfway decent. I'm so grateful that y'all do at least look halfway decent as we hold the space for you to fully get into a space that when you do something, you know how it's going to end because you are righteous. And nothing is going to disrupt the harmony between heaven and earth. You are a player within that. It's very simple. I'm actually setting the table for a lecture that I'm doing February 28th, 2022 on the sacral chakra. And I'm just giving you guys kind of like a background and then kind of doing more like foreground and astrology work and chakra work and all of that. But I gotta kind of like give you the Kabbalistic underworkings of the matrix that we all live in. And if you take anything from this conversation, just know that your relationships are opportunities. Your relationships are opportunities. They're not prison cells. They're not medical examination or offices. They're not doctor visits. They're not ATM machines. These are opportunities for you to access your divinity through your divine mirror. So shadow work for couples. Both, how you gonna be doing shadow work and your husband playing fucking Madden online, on Facebook? He paid more attention to his goddamn streaming people than he do to you. But you doing shadow work. No, you need to disappear and turn into a literal shadow. Shadow of you used to being in that fucking house. Stop removing spirituality in your relationships where spirituality needs to be the first thing within your relationship. Hopefully what I said makes sense. But it's 1 o'clock. I'm about to go to the crib. Thank you, Casey, for the Cash App. Thank you, Chantel, for the Cash App. I appreciate the love. All my links are in the descriptions if you do want to support me or my content. Really do appreciate my Patreon subscribers and my mystery school people that's hanging out, keeping the social media vibe going. Going to do a lot of work this weekend and do a lot of planning for the site and a lot of things that I haven't been doing because I've been like on bullshit. But getting off the bullshit, getting back on the spiritual shit, and you know, keeping this thing going. I'm feeling great. The energy is very strong and very powerful. What y'all think about the little background that I did? You feel me? I thought it was pretty cool. I don't know if y'all said something in the comments. You know, late nights with the hood mystic, you know. Little late night city vibe and shit. Definitely want to do some readings. I know I've been saying it for the longest. I've been bullshitting, but fingers crossed I do it this week. But other than that, man, y'all know how I get down, how I give it up. Go to Columbian Exchange, sign up for our email list. Definitely sending out an email this week if I don't do nothing. I got a cool little idea that I'm about to start working on tomorrow. Yeah, man, I'm in these streets though for the most part. So if you need anything, holla at your boy, hoodmystic.com, Columbian Exchange. Get on for our email list. If I ain't say that once, I'm gonna say it again. Send me an email if you want to talk, or if you have any questions about anything for which I'm saying. If I lost you, if you think I'm leading people astray or whatever the fuck people been saying, whatever, reach out, But other than that, man, I'm about to go to the crib and enjoy the rest of my night. Probably squeeze on some booty cheeks and build this foundation in all right.